2倍速ってこんなもん。敵データ収集完了。捕獲マーク起動。愉快な反撃の時間です。
風が吹き、この一矢で十分。我々はとうに嵐の国、守るべき者のために打ち崩せ。
Oh, so that's what happens when you use it on herself. You can't tell me you haven't thought about DPS Bronya after looking at her traces. That juicy 100% crit rate on her basics must be good, right? Well, let's see about that. Just a quick reminder that if you are enjoying these videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're still at around 6% subscribed, which is quite low, but we're definitely making progress, so I'd appreciate it a lot. Anyway, I have to say this challenge was quite difficult, and I definitely needed the help of Luocha and Pella to do some AoE damage. The big problem with Bronya is you can only attack one target at a time. Her talent is nice because every time you basic, you action advance forward by around 20-something% depending on the talent level. But she can only pick off one target at a time, and she's not one-shotting everything with her basics. I'd still say this is pretty funny and pretty good damage considering she doesn't have any real damaging weapons. Like, I'm using S5 Planetary Rendezvous, which is what I used for Asta as well, but come on, she's not doing anything crazy at all. So I think you saw that 6,000, 7,000 raw damage against non-win weak enemies, and it can go up to around 15 to 20k when you're buffed with like a Tingyan or Asta, as well as when you have a defense tread either from Pella or Silverwolf. But I tried this Kafka side, Memory of Chaos 10, so many times with this team, and I noticed one thing. If I didn't have enough damage, I just get wiped out by Kafka. So as much as I wanted to make this as much centered around Bronya as possible, we needed the E6 Luocha and Pella's damage contribution just so we can clear it. But I still think I did okay with maintaining the essence of this being a DPS Bronya because we're using Tingyan's hypercarry buffs on Bronya, so she's getting all of the damage amplification, and you can just see her raw damage, which is good. That's what we want to show because I know a lot of you are wondering how good is Bronya if you just build her basic attack up and give her all the crit damage pieces because it's got 100 crit rate with her major trace. And this is the result, so you can see how good Bronya is if you just build her for basic attacks. Unfortunately, again, she can't deal with multi-targets really well. She can pick off weak enemies, and if there's only one target, then it's definitely manageable. Is it ideal? I wouldn't say so, but just know that if you're a Bronya main, you can do this. One of the advantages, of course, is she doesn't use skill points. She's constantly generating them, and with her talent, she's action advancing forward so many times, so it's quite efficient in that sense. But luckily for me, it wasn't that much of a time sink. I just had to level her basics and give her some other gear. Speaking of gearing, I am so dumb. I was farming Rudolent to try to get her because Rudolent says it gives your character 20% basic and skill damage, which when you think about it, okay, that's great. The problem is you need 70% crit rate. We have like a 5% crit rate on Bronya. We don't need any of that because her major trace gives her 100% crit rate. So after farming that for a while, I'm going to farm it eventually for future characters and Qingque, but I was farming that just for this, and I realized halfway through, oh, she can't get 70% crit rate. So for this build, you definitely want Space Sealing Station, the Herda set, and I'm not even sure what the best relics are. I'm using 4-piece Musketeer because it's 12% attack, 6% speed, and 10% basic attack damage, so it's not bad. But I think maybe 4-piece wind would be better overall, or like 2-piece wind, 2-piece musketeer. Well, actually, no. Yeah, 4-piece wind might be better because you just get so much more action advancing forward. But I think I'm pretty satisfied with how much damage she does. When you really buff her and use the best possible supports, she can hit up to 30+K basics. And that's just really satisfying to see from a character that, again, doesn't really have any damage bonuses or crit aside from her 100% crit rate bonus. I guess that's a lot, but what I'm trying to say is characters like Seele, they get resurgence and a bunch of other penetration that just skyrockets their own personal damage. Bronya doesn't have any of that, and she can't use her skill on herself, which is really sad. If she could, she'd be so much better as a damage dealer, but not really gonna complain. This is just something funny. After the fight, I'll show Bronya's build, as always. It's so satisfying whenever she picks off an enemy. I don't know if you noticed, but I've been spamming Luocha's skill because we have extra skill points, and Luocha's E2 gives characters shields if he heals them at 50% or more HP, and as I was saying, we need the survivability against Kafka. We were not having it, and she was just wiping us every single time. This is pretty much a done deal though. She's the only enemy left, so there's a lot less incoming damage for us to deal with. I was thinking about what to do next for these types of build videos. I've done, so in the Asta video that I uploaded a few days ago, I got a lot of requests for March 7th, Natasha, I think Fire MC as well. I do have plans for most of them, maybe not in the near future. I just don't have any resources right now. But I do plan on doing pretty much every character eventually. Let me know if you have any other suggestions, of course, and I will try to get to them. But coming up next, we do have the start of my 3-minute guide series where I do want to make short guides that cover pretty much every meta topic that you need to know, from theory crafting, how to best build a character, and best teammates, just stuff that I don't think needs to be crammed into a long video. Of course, the in-depth guides are good, but there are already good ones out there, and I don't need to be making the same kind of content if they're already available. But aside from that, we have more Qingque content coming, of course, so stay tuned. And this is pretty much over. We get this break effect. That in one attack we did 37,000 in Kafka, and then we finished her. Pretty satisfying if you ask me. But yeah, that's Memory of Chaos 10. Kafka's side, of course, we did have so much damage contribution from Luocha and Pella, but this is what it is. 191% crit damage. Pretty good. Could get it higher, but not gonna complain. Planetary Rendezvous. Maxed out pretty much all her traces now. Just missing this one, but she's only level 75 because I don't have any books left. And this, yeah, we don't have the perfect rules, but we're just trying to get it started. She's using speed boots, so that's actually interesting. If she had attack boots, she'd be doing more damage. And there we go. None of these Eidolons actually increase her basic attack build, but thank you for watching all the way to the end. I will see you next time.